Welcome back to another episode of the Wet Dreams Podcast. I'm your host, Jose Gonzalez. I'm a mental health counselor and a sex therapist.
I'm Dr. Brad Hinman. I'm also a mental health therapist and a sex therapist and a marriage and family therapist.
Cool. Today we're going to be talking about betrayal. We've had other episodes of like infidelity and stuff, so we'll touch on that again here. But we're also generalizing just betrayal in general and how betrayal hits men differently typically than how it hits women, or men deal with it differently than women. So we're talking about how betrayal hits men differently today, and I'm excited. It should be a good conversation. So what kind of betrayal were we talking about today? All the betrayals. What are some betrayals that come to your mind?
Well, cheating, physical cheating, of course, but that's not the only betrayal. There's like what I call in my mind flirting, right? You could call it emotional betrayal, right? Where you start talking to somebody and then you start sharing stuff with them, stuff that you shouldn't be sharing with them, right? Like I'm not talking about sexting. I'm talking about like emotional stuff. Like if you're talking to somebody that you're not married to about your marital relationship, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep, we'll talk about that a little bit more. That's a good one.
Yes. Sometimes people feel betrayed if you have a friend of the opposite sex, right? If you're talking about heterosexual relationships. But that's not all. Like some people can feel betrayed by that, but it's not always betrayal. I'm defending that because my best friend is a female,
right?
And I'm married to a female,
right? For sure.
So my wife, when we were just going together, she felt a certain way about that,
but she got over it.
Well, my friend and I, like we're like brother and sister.
Yeah.
We're like we could never do anything sexual. We would kill each other first. So
yeah, for sure. Yep. And then there's also like the betrayal, just like within friendships. You know, another guy to guy betrayal of like an employer. You know, I've definitely that's happened where the person thinks their boss or their coworker is a certain way, and then something happens, and it's like, whoa, like I guess I can't trust this person anymore, or whatever. You know, that's a betrayal by family members for sure, dad, mom, sibling. Yeah. Those can be betrayals.
I like that definition you slipped in there. Like, like you think that they're a certain way, and then they do something that's not that way, right? So then that you feel betrayed. I like that definition.
Their assumptions. It could be like within business, or you're in a partnership with someone business wise, and they steal all your money or whatever. I don't know. You know, that's a betrayal as well. And I think that's important. Like that's a good point you brought up. Like what is a betrayal versus what someone can feel is a betrayal. That's an interesting point. It's kind of like similar to the trauma conversation we had of like it's a subjective, like trauma subjective in the same way. I guess someone that feels betrayal is subjective. Can you speak more about that?
Yes, and I think the reason that it's subjective is because we judge something as a betrayal often because that's not what we would have chosen to do in that circumstance, right? Like, sort of, for example, if you feel betrayed at work, right? Like if you get called in for being late or something, and your boss, who you thought you were friends with or whatever, right? You thought that you were cool with them and they were cool with you, and then now all of a sudden they're yelling at you. You feel betrayed because you wouldn't have yelled at that person, right? Like I wouldn't have done that, but we kind of skip over that in our brain. Like that's not a conscious thing. But when I've brought that up with clients before, I'll say, do you feel betrayed because that's not what you'd have chosen to? Yes. You know, they react really strongly to that. So I think that that's something that's happening I think that, and that's why it's subjective, is because, well, I wouldn't have done that to you, but you're doing it to me. So maybe you weren't who I thought you were, or maybe we weren't cool. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I feel like we make a lot of assumptions and decisions based on what we would. I mean, I guess it's like all you have, but
Yes.
about what we would do. Like a funny thing that came to my mind was like, what was it? There was like my mom or something. There was we were gonna what was it? We were gonna have people over, and I think my wife was like, "Oh, that stresses me out to have so many people." And then my mom was like, "Well, I don't get stressed out when I have people around socially." And I'm just like, "Yeah, but you're two different you're two different people. What are you saying?" Like,
Right.
of course you don't. Like, what? Like, but we make these statements and assumptions like, well, I wouldn't do that, so why is that person doing it? Or I wouldn't do it that way, that must be wrong, or whatever. Like, we just our own thing for some. It's just interesting how we do that, and again, maybe we have that's our biggest experience of like what we do, but it just seems crazy when I say it out loud.
Well, and that this is another thing, but like I think sometimes when people say, well, you should do that, like if you tell me a problem that you're having and I'm like, well, you should do this, what I'm really saying is this is what I would do in that situation, right? But we don't say it like that.
Right.
It comes across as, well, you're stupid because you didn't think of this, so you should do this, right?
Right.
But if we would say, this is what I would do in this situation, because that's really what you're saying anyway.
Right.
You're just not using those words.
Yes.
But back to betrayal.
Yes. But I think that's kind of connected because I think, especially with men, there's this idea of like fixing it, or when someone when someone brings something to us, I can see a scenario where, a friend asks for advice on a situation, and then you say like, hey, you should do this. This whole thing is happening, and then that person doesn't do it, and there's just like, well, fuck you. Why did I tell you what to do anyways? Now there's like a little betrayal that happens. Like it's in that. I think men are kind of wired to fixing or something. Like there's something there that hits hard differently for men. I think of like, well, I'm putting myself out there, so you didn't take it, so you're kind of like shitting on me, basically. You know what I mean?
Like I don't matter, or my opinion. Why did you ask me if you're not going to do it anyway? But yeah, it's like some of our self-esteem gets wrapped up in that. Like you asked me for advice and then you didn't take my advice, so now I must be lower in your opinion than what I thought I was.
Right. It's like, why did I open up? It's that vulnerability thing. I think I was vulnerable, and then this person didn't do what I thought they were gonna do. So what's the point of opening up? Like, I think men are prone to that, like because they rarely open up, anyways.
And I've felt in my life like when I am telling somebody when they ask me something and then I tell them, this is not in the therapy room.
Yeah.
Somebody asks me something.
You feel betrayed by your clients.
and then I tell them something. I often will say, this is what I would do. You can choose to do that or not. And I am not married to this opinion. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I have no input in whether you do this or not. This is just what I would do. So then I feel less betrayed if they don't take my advice.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling myself as I'm saying it to them.
Right. You're saying it out
loud. I have
loud.
No vested interest in whether you do this or not.
Yeah. I think for me it's hard when it's like my kids. Like that's the hardest one for me. Of like, oh, don't do that, or like maybe shouldn't do. And I mean, it doesn't help that my youngest is ADHD and is like a wrecking ball. So there's most of the day I'm thinking like, you're probably gonna break that or whatever, Anyways, but I think it's that makes it difficult where there's this connection between, my identity almost, and somebody taking that, or being vulnerable, I suppose, or me sharing an opinion or sharing something, and then someone not taking that. There's this fusion that happens. I think it happens a lot for guys, like where it's part of your identity or something. I don't know. And so then when it doesn't go that way, someone does it differently, or it goes poorly, whatever, then it feels like a betrayal because it's your identity.
Yes. Because like you said a minute ago, like fixing things is our identity. Like that's our superpower, right? And so if somebody doesn't take our advice, then we're not able to fix that thing. And so it's attacking the one thing that we're good at.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. Why else do you think maybe guys are I mean, we're all maybe vulnerable, but why do you think guys are especially vulnerable to feeling betrayed, or to, like, we kind of talked about the identity thing and stuff like that? Is there anything else that comes to mind?
Yes. Because when guys tend to get in a relationship, well, when guys get in a relationship, they put the 10 in the wrong spot. They tend to, their other relationships diminish, right? So you spend less time with your friends, even with, you spend less time with your extended family, right? And more time with your partner. And so then more of your emotional energy and also needs getting met comes from your partner. So then when your partner, like, that's all we have. And so when your partner betrays you in big or small ways,
right? It's like the
a
end
big
of the
B
world.
or a little b, right?
Yeah.
Big betrayal, a little
Big
bit, you know, it affects us more strongly because that's all we have, right?
Yeah.
Where women tend to, and of course these are gender stereotypes, and there's lots of exceptions to all gender stereotypes, but women tend to diversify emotionally more than men do.
Yep.
Right? That's why women go to the bathroom together.
Right.
Men purposely avoid going to the bathroom if somebody else is in there.
Right. We'll hold it for hours if we need to.
But like 12 women will go together to the bathroom.
Right.
Right.
And then they're
Not
friends
that
with the
many toilets
stranger when they come out of the bathroom.
Yeah,
like,
that's
I
right.
met him in the bathroom.
So and women tend to still talk to their parents more often than men do. You know, like it's,
yeah, they spread it out further
more
than men do, for sure. And that's I think that's the same, probably, again, you know, in relationships, but also with friendships. I think that's the same thing applies, where men tend to see smaller circles of people or really close friends. So then when something happens with that friend or whatever situation, then it's that much bigger because that was their main friend, or they have two guys that they're like the super closest to. If one of them does something, then of course it feels like a huge betrayal because that's one of two friends. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. I mean, I want to be clear that women feel betrayed also.
Yes.
I just don't want to get comments to say that I'm clueless about that. But I do feel that they feel it in a different way, right? It's they experience the betrayal differently. It's like women feel a betrayal of trust. Like, I thought I knew this person. And the person I knew wouldn't have done this, right? That's the comments that I hear from females a lot. Where men, it's more like they feel devastated. Like their whole world is blown up. You know? Again, not saying that women don't feel that. Yeah. But it's just different.
Right.
It's a different,
for sure,
manifestation.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think that takes me, to part of the next one. Like, so then how do men deal with betrayal differently than women do, you think? I mean, clearly it's felt differently. So then what do men do typically with that betrayal?
I've had, like, it would be interesting to see a research study on this, but the men that I've seen, both individually and as a couple, not the same person, but the couples that I've seen, the individuals that I've seen, men tend to blow up the relationship when they feel betrayed. It's like they want to cut it off,
burn it down.
Yes, right. Where women, again, in generalities, with the people that I've seen, the limited sample, right, women tend more to want to work it out. They don't know if they can, right? They don't know if it's possible for the relationship to be repaired. But men are like, I'm done. I can't, you know. So I think that they just react differently to that, because I think it harkens back to what you said at the beginning. Like, I put myself out there, right? And then often I hear from men, I don't ever want to get married again. Yeah. Right? Like, they don't say it exactly like this, but it hurts so much that I can't allow myself to be hurt like that again. Right. So then they don't ever want to get married again. And I'm like, that piece of paper that with says marriage license at the top of it,
Right.
like you're not saying I don't want to be in a relationship again.
Right.
So you're still gonna
Right. Like, okay, but don't get married.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and part of that is the financial impact of divorce, because you have to split everything down and the retirement accounts and all that kind of stuff, and sell the house and divide it, blah, blah, blah. So part of that is the financial, but that's not really what they're talking to me about, because I'm not dealing with their finances. I'm dealing with the emotions of it. But they'll say, like, I don't want to do this again. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, you're still taking these issues into the next relationship that you have, whether you get married or not.
Right. And that's the tough part. I think while they cut it off, they also siphon that part. Like, they cut everything off. It's not just like, okay, I'm done with this relationship. Let me try to improve myself and see what went wrong. It's almost like it doesn't matter. All of it's gone. And then it's just in a box over there. You know what I mean?
And they don't want to think about it. They don't want to talk about it
until they gets triggered next time in another relationship, and they go, "Oh God, like this was from my ex-wife or whatever." You know what I mean? Like, it's just in a box. Like, get it out of here.
In the attic with the locked door.
Yeah, with the locked door. It's true. It's true. Yeah, it's that isolation, and the you were talking. It's like like anger. I mean, we've had this conversation plenty of times of like the acceptable feelings for men to show as anger, you know, and anger basically, you know, and competitiveness. I don't know. And so then, of course, in something like this, it's anger, like fuck that person, or again, whether it's in their relationship, whether it's a friend, whether it's a boss, whether it's whatever. It's like, no, now that person's the enemy.
Yeah.
Like, fuck them.
You're dead to me.
You're dead to me. You know what I mean? And like, that's all. That's the only thing acceptable. So then, of course, it's that big of a reaction. Or another thing I think that often happens is then the focus becomes on work. Like, okay, well, I'm just gonna isolate and I'm gonna work 80 hours a week, 60 hours a week, and just do that now. You know what I mean? Like, that's also a thing that
I've literally had clients do that. Like, their relationship dissolves, so they basically double the amount of time they spend at work.
Literally.
And the reality of it is, from a therapist standpoint, you're doing that to distract yourself, right? So that because you don't want to feel the pain, so you pour yourself, and again, you find something that you're good at, work, right? So that you're getting a feeling of validation and affirmation from your work,
right?
now.
Right. You're still worth something, even though that person screwed you over or whatever.
Because your boss is like, yeah, you can, yeah.
Yeah.
Work twice as hard.
For
Great.
sure. I'll take it for sure. Yeah, definitely. Another one that came to mind is like numbing out. I think guys do that often too. Like, whether that's porn, as we talked, or whether that's alcohol or whatever, they just numb it away. Again, there's all this like avoidance where I think generally females can be in that feeling quicker and earlier and deeper, at least at the beginning, than guys. When there's a betrayal, they can do that quicker. Guys, it's just like, nope, I'll get to it when I get to it, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, what you're saying is absolutely true. Because when men experience a betrayal, since that's what we're talking about, right? They will pour themselves into their work, or they'll numb themselves out with porn or video games or whatever, right? So notice the word numb, right? So men are like, I'm not going to feel my emotions. When women experience a betrayal, they watch the movie The Notebook, and they get a tub
like
of
feel it
ice
on
cream,
purpose.
right? Or vanilla non-fat yogurt,
Right?
and they eat they eat the whole tub, and they're crying, and they're calling their girlfriends, and their mom is in the room. So they feel they feel all the feelings, right?
And again, they tend to spread that out,
right?
They're talking to everyone, all their friends, and family. And
so
stuff.
Men numb, women feel.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. What do you think are some of the physical manifestations of that when they feel betrayal for guys or whatever? What do they feel like? It's like the term that comes to my body keeps the score. I think that's with anything that kind of comes to my mind. But what do you think guys feel that? What is that result of that physically for guys?
What is the result of not feeling?
Of a betrayal for guys and numbing out? Yeah, I suppose any of that. Mm-hmm.
Like physically, what are they
Mm-hmm.
feeling? I think they feel a lot of physical symptoms because they're trapping all of that inside, right? So I've talked to guys where they get an upset stomach, they get diarrhea, they get like even acid
Migraines.
reflux. Yes, migraines, right? They sweaty heart. I've had guys have heart palpitations. It's all like internal stuff because they're trapping that inside. Yep. So that energy has nowhere to go. Right. So they have literal physical sensations, right? Sleeplessness, not eating. I've had all those things reported to me by clients.
Yep. And almost like I've had a couple where it's like almost like they have to punish themselves or something, like the not eating. I've had some that's like, no, I don't deserve to eat almost or something. Like,
yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah. It's like they can't feel happy. Like they feel like their happiness was broken.
Right. They don't deserve to feel it. Yeah, for sure. Or, I mean, another thought, sexual dysfunction. I'm sure that happens as well. Like if you're holding that all up in your body, then maybe your sexual organs don't work.
That I've had that happen too in therapy. Like that men who are coming to me for a porn addiction, right, or a sexual addiction of some other form, and then they experience a betrayal with their partner that's not related to the porn, and then they come back and they're like, I don't even want to watch porn anymore.
Right.
Their desire is gone. And so I'm like, but it's going to come back. So we still need to work on that.
Yeah. It's not a get out of jail free card. Like,
right.
It doesn't just go away. Yeah. Right. It's just crazy.
It is.
How that, I mean, again, the body holds on to things. I wanted to go back. This just popped in my head to that earlier we talked about, and we'll talk about, of course, we always end with how do you help, how do you fix the betrayal. But before that, you mentioned this idea of a married couple where you have a friend of the opposite sex. I wanted to revisit that again. What are your thoughts about that? Like you said, the partner can feel betrayed sometimes at that, but is it a betrayal? That whole conversation of like what they feel versus maybe what it is. What are your thoughts about that?
The short answer to my thoughts about that is talk about it.
Always. Every time.
Right. That's always going to be my answer.
Oh, man. Again.
So talk about it with your partner, right? And that's what my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, is that we talked about it, right? It's, and then my wife, also talked to my friend. And so both of us said the same thing, like, yeah, that's not ever going to happen.
Not. Like,
yes, exactly. I think she literally did that, my friend. But what would have happened was that my wife would have stewed on that and obsessed about it, right? And it would have grown into something much bigger in her brain. Than what it was. And so by talking about it, it allowed that to like dissipate. But I think for heterosexual people, having a friend of the opposite sex at work or in pickleball club or whatever, like that can be dangerous if you allow yourself to develop a relationship beyond what you should have, right?
The boundaries or whatever.
Right. Like what I said at the beginning, a good like rule of thumb is, are you talking negatively about your partner to this other person?
Yes, right.
That is dangerous.
That's dangerous for sure. Yeah, and it's tough because I mean, it's funny that came up because I generally, like for me, I don't think I can be friends with the opposite sex, but I know that not everyone feels that way or whatever. It's again that same idea of like, just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean that your partner or
Right.
this other person is going to do it that same way than you know, as you're putting, again, yourself onto them. And I think it's important to actually talk about it, because I think that's a tough one. I think, because I've had, you know, I've had both. I've had clients that are like, they have friends of the opposite gender, and it's like, it's never like, they have such strong boundaries that it's like, it's never passed in their mind anything, you know what I mean? But then of course I've had other clients that they've done stuff with their with their friends that within the relationship, you know, but everyone's different for sure. And talking about it.
Yep. It's like that with food or video games, or like you could name a bunch of other topics where some people have resistance, right? Like you can bring a dozen donuts to work, and there's going to be somebody at your job that will not touch them.
Yeah.
And then there's another one,
God
they'll
bless
eat
them.
6 of them. Because they have no self-control.
Ding, 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 ding. Here I am. Where are the donuts?
So there's people who have more self-control than others. Like it's not just about self-control. It's about like boundaries and all that kind of stuff, right? Like it's, in the people like yourself who can't have friends of the opposite sex, it doesn't mean that you're weak or less than or whatever. It just means that you shouldn't have friends of the opposite sex.
Right.
Like if
the same way, like
you can't
like
handle
you said,
it, don't have them. Right. Like it's
the same way I try not to have sugar in my house, because I'm gonna kill it, like you said, you know.
And that's the way I am. Right. So and so it's donuts are not my thing, but sugar.
I love donuts.
Chocolate, ice cream. Yeah, those are my
agreed. Same. How can you not like donuts though? So sorry, go ahead.
Anything that's like bread-ish is not my thing. Like,
what about chocolate croissants?
No.
I love me a chocolate croissant.
I don't hate them, but it's just not.
I'm
not going to eat 6 of them. Like it's just not my thing. Like, but ice cream?
Done.
Yeah.
All right. It's good to know. I won't bring donuts next time.
Bring ice cream. But see, with ice cream, you got to eat it because it's
you have
melt,
to.
Right?
Yeah, of course. You have to. It's a rule. They make it that way on purpose.
Yes, right.
Anyways, random. Sorry. We got off topic.
But it's okay. But it's another one of those things where, like, I'm not saying that you should be like me,
yes,
right, and have friends of the opposite. What's wrong with why can't? Yes, you can have,
right,
you
or like certainly something's happening with them. You know what I mean? Or whatever, you know,
right. But and this is what I tell my clients: like, if that's something that you can't do, then don't do it. Like, it's stay away, stop. Like, you need to put up a boundary, right? If you, which is another interesting thing about guys. And maybe women are like this too, but we both specialize in seeing guys. Willpower seems to they seem to struggle with that sometimes, right? Like they're like, I don't want to do this thing. And then they come back the next week. Well, I did the thing.
I did the thing that I didn't want to do.
Well, you didn't want to do that. Why are you doing something you don't want to do? Right? Like, I don't want to take the trash out, so I'm not doing it. Like it's not, I don't wake up in the middle of the night and take the trash out when I don't want to, right? It's like,
yep, definitely. Well, and this will be a good segue. We talked about communication. You know, part of it also is like, you know, the betrayal piece, or like having those conversations often and you know, as much as possible. Obviously, you can't prevent a betrayal from happening, but if you and your partner in this case are talking about things all the time, or talking about these boundaries, or talking about how the relationship is going, or whatever, you know, it helps. You know, I don't want to say it prevents a betrayal, because it's always going to be a betrayal, but I think part of what happens in those scenarios, especially like people that have infidelity things, is they're not talking. So then this thing builds up, whatever, resentment, negative feelings, whatever, builds up to a point where it's like, and it blows up, you know. I think that's all part of it. But in that vein, what are some ways that our guys can work through a betrayal? Betrayal has happened, you know, and they're feeling, or I was gonna say they're feeling the feelings, but maybe they're not actually feeling the feelings. What are things they can do to work through it? A betrayal that's happened, whether it's partners, friends, whatever.
I think the first thing is to feel the feelings, right? Like,
yep.
And I always say to my clients continuously, like, I have the easy job because I just say these things, like, feel your feelings. It's harder to actually feel your feelings than it is for me to say, feel your feelings, right? So I'm aware that I'm asking you to do something that's difficult, because men do not want to feel their feelings at all.
No, not at all.
And they will do lots of really tough stuff to not feel their feelings. So that is really the first step is, like, I have sat in my practice and said to guys, it's okay for you to be sad. It's okay for you to be upset, right? At the betrayal, right? If that's what we're talking about. And not only is it okay, you should feel something. Because if you don't feel anything, she's going to think you don't care.
Right.
Because if you look at yourself,
yes,
you look like you don't care right now.
Right. Yes.
And then they're usually like, well, I do care. And I'm like, well, tell your face.
Doesn't seem like it. Right? Say your face. You just look pissed off and like, you're like, what? Show something else.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think feeling the feelings, telling literally for the guy to tell himself, it's okay for me to feel this way. I always have to tell people, you're not going to feel this way forever. For some strange reason, people think if they feel their feelings, they're going to be stuck with that. Like, if you're 30 years old, you're going to feel sad for 70 years.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Like, that is, you cannot feel the same feeling for really definitely not more than a day.
Yeah, for sure. Even
now
less,
there's people
probably.
arguing with me, you know, like grief or something. You're like, no, you're not feeling that
continuously, right? Like 24/7. No.
That's why, like, if somebody important to you dies, you feel sad, but then you laugh at a joke, and then somebody says, well, we shouldn't be laughing, right? Like, that shows you that you cannot feel this continuously, right?
Yep.
And so, no, you're not. And if you process your feelings, if you feel them, they will dissipate. They will disappear because they don't need to be around anymore because you felt them.
Yes.
I always compare feelings to like a 2-year-old. And if you ignore the 2-year-old, it just gets louder.
It just gets more annoying.
Right. It does.
Dang it.
But if you're like, what do you need? They're like, hi. And then they run away.
Yeah, there's literally nothing.
Right. So that's the way your feelings are. So feeling your feelings, telling yourself it's okay to feel the feelings. Of course, communicating with the person that betrayed you. No, I'm laughing because there's an appropriate way to communicate. It's not like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's not the communication that I'm talking about.
Good call.
It's more like, I teach my clients to approach with curiosity. I'm confused about
why the fuck are you dumb? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
That was a curious question.
No.
Why are you so stupid?
Why are you the way that you are?
Why are you the way to the office fans? Okay, that's good.
It's more like, I'm confused by X, that you did X, right?
Yes.
Because I thought we had an understanding that X was not going to happen. Right. Like, if it's a physical sexual betrayal, I'm confused. I thought that we promised each other that wasn't going to happen. But yet it did. So help me understand. So I'm confused, ... help me understand, ... Right?
Yep.
I teach clients that structure.
For sure.
Because those two, I'm confused and help me understand, that's not likely to create a defensive response in your partner. And then also, basically, you're asking for help. And if you ask somebody for help, the human response is to try to help you, right? Like, if you come in and say, I have a flat tire, my response is going to be to try to help you, right? Not be like, why are you so stupid?
You dummy.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, approach with communication, like curiosity, communication.
Because it really is going to get you the answers that you want. You saying, what the fuck is your problem is not getting you anything other than, like, conflict.
defensiveness is what it's going to get,
Right.
right? Because the person's going to be forced to defend themselves because they feel under attack. And then, like, ultimately a decision has to be made. Like, are you going to try to repair this, or are you going to try to end the relationship? Like that should be part of that conversation. It shouldn't be the beginning of it.
Right, for sure.
But eventually, because there are some betrayals that people don't recover from.
Yep.
Most betrayals they do recover from, at least the people that I see. Because I've had couples that come in, there's a betrayal that happened, and I'm thinking in my brain, you're not going to make it.
There's no way.
And they do.
Yeah.
They repair the relationship. But then there's other couples I see, and I'm like,
I think you got it right. This is not bad.
And then they get divorced 2 weeks later.
Yeah, it's true.
like-
it's true. It's true.
So I guess the point of that is I'm a poor prophet.
Yeah. It's the opposite. You know?
I can't predict, right? So, and the reason that I can't predict is not because I suck at my job, because I don't. The reason I can't predict is because they have other variables, right? It depends on a lot of things within them that I don't have control over, right? And probably hearkening back to the beginning of what I'm saying when I think they're going to make it or not going to make it is
if it was you in that situation, the same thing. Yeah, exactly. Right.
That this would not be an insurmountable betrayal to me, or this one would be an insurmountable betrayal.
Right.
But I'm not married to them.
Right.
So,
right.
So people have continuously astounded me at what they can recover from.
It's true.
And then sometimes they astound me at what they don't recover from.
Yeah, which is seemingly minor, like I said, to us, but to them it's not. Yeah, for sure. So I think that in communication piece, and I would add, like, I think one thing that I would tell the guys is, like, just because a betrayal happened, like, again, it's this all or nothing thing. Like, don't take it as an all or nothing thing. Just because this betrayal happened in this scenario, friend, partner, whatever, doesn't mean now everything is crap, or you can never be vulnerable again, or you can never be in a relationship again, or you can never have a close friend again. Like, I think that's where guys go wrong. It's like, well, I'll just throw everything away. Like, no, this scenario, then there was a betrayal that happened and it hurt. Yeah, let's acknowledge that for the trauma that it was, but that doesn't mean that now you just shut everything off. It doesn't mean, like, on the contrary, it means reach out more. It means the people that you do have still connections with, you need to reach out to them more to help you through this betrayal. It doesn't mean just shut it down and now everything is crap. Like, I think that would be my biggest, like, adding to that, like, Jill, just shut it off. So, but it's hard. I mean, it's a trauma. Again, like, it's acknowledge it. It sucks, especially you've put a lot on the line, and you've put yourself into this relationship, friendship, family, whatever, and then you got burned. Like, it sucks.
Yep. I think often with betrayal too, another part of the recovery from that is I ask my clients, what are you going to do differently next time? Because often not the partner who did the betrayal, but the betrayed partner, that's what they want to know is, how do I know this isn't going to happen again? And so sometimes the person that did the betraying, they'll say some form of, they don't say these exact words, but just trust me. Yeah. No, I trusted you the first time.
Yeah, more that time. And now this time, no. Like, get out of here, bro.
So then the way to answer that, how do I know, is you make a plan.
Yes.
So the next time somebody flirts with me at work, this is what I'm going to do. Right.
Right.
Or the next time, ... whatever happened. Right.
Yes.
But early, catch it early in the process, not after you did the betrayal.
Right. Just apologize better this time.
Right.
Like, no, that's not it.
It's what hurdles are you going to set up? What roadblocks are you going to set up ahead of time so that you don't blow through those boundaries?
Yep.
That's what your partner wants to know.
Exactly. Definitely.
They won't ever ask it that way, but that's what they want to know.
Right. Right.
When they
What's
ask
gonna
for
be
the
different?
details, or they try to put blockers on your phone, or they try to make you unfriend the female friend that you have, what they're really wanting you to do is guarantee them that's not going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
little life hack for
There
you.
you go. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for listening to our episode. Obviously, we'd love to hear from you guys of your experiences or your thoughts on all our episodes. Feel free to check out our Wet Dreams podcast with the Z on all social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And let us know what you think. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
The Wet Dreams podcast and any content posted is intended for general information, educational, and entertainment purposes only. We are not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from the use of this podcast. It is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional, diagnosis, or treatment. Listeners should not disregard or delay in obtaining a medical advice for any medical or mental health condition they may have, and should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.